This is our Forex blog for September 7th, 2011. And like most days, we really want to buy the strongest currencies versus the weakest. On the top, we have the real-time strength and weakness of the currency, in this case, the dollar. Underneath that, we have a little bit longer term. This is a blend of many different indicators, but it's approximately the 30-minute to 2-hour trend. Underneath that, we have the daily, weekly, monthly. So the dollar coming into today and for most of the day, maybe until about 5:36 here, we had mostly weakness. So you'd want to sell the dollar against, one of the stronger ones. The euro was quite strong in real time at 1. However, the daily, weekly, monthly trend were down. The Australian, as you can see, was strong on all time frames. So really the highest odds trade against a weak dollar was the strong Australian. You have a higher odds trade when you, whoops, you have a higher odds trade when you trade it and it's above the hourly. So once it went above the hourly right here, you might have bought that little sideways hour and a half breakout, and you can see it went up pretty smoothly, another 70 pips. If you miss that first wave, you buy this little pullback here, made a few pips, buy this pullback here, made 20, buy this pullback here, made 20, buy this pullback here, made about 40. You can clearly see that the Australian, which was the strongest one of all, and the dollar is one of the weakest, pretty much just went straight up. And it's a lot easier when you trade, currencies that are just moving one way. We also have a weak Swiss pretty much on all time frames, and you could have traded that against the strong Australian. I'm having a weird issue in my data feed, so hopefully this comes up. Okay. Oops. Yeah, it's not coming up. I'm not getting data from eSignal. Historical data. The real-time data is updating. I don't have this on my list of cached ones. But we can also look at the euro. The euro was strong, and the intermediate time frame trend shifted up around 1. However, the longer term trend's down. So you can't expect to make as many pips trading the euro against the weak dollar because you're going against the longer time frame trends. However, strong euro, weak dollar after 1. You can see 1 o'clock, it had broke from below to above the hourly right here. And it went from about 40.50 all the way up to about 41.50. It went up 100 pips. And it went up on many different waves. So you could have bought this little pullback here, made 20 pips, bought this pullback here, made 20, 25 pips, bought this pullback here, made 75 pips, and so on. And then you bought this pullback here, went up about 20 pips, found support to hourly, went up 20 pips. Not the best trade in the world. On the perfect day, you have currencies that are strong on all time frames versus currencies that are weak on all time frames. And after currencies move a great distance, usually they pull back, and you have, counter trend trades like you mostly had today. The yen was also weak today around 12:30. However, again, the longer term trend of it was up, but you could have taken a few short term, 20, 30 pip trades in the euro yen. Now at 12:30, this one wasn't as good as the euro dollar because the price was underneath the hourly and it had a lower odds of the trade working. But you can see at 12:30 in this little sideways range rectangle right here, when it broke out, it did go up about 30 pips, hit the previous week's low. Anytime a currency is underneath last week's low, that is a major resistance area, and it couldn't get above it. But there was definitely 20, 30 pips to be had trading that one. The New Zealand also was having a lot of real-time strength today, and the intermediate time frame shifted up a little bit before 3, but the longer term trend again was down. So you could have also traded the New Zealand dollar today, but you would expect, less pips. And it was not the kind of explosive move up as you notice this. Look at this just slow growth, from 12:30 to the high. It's less than 50 pips. Whereas the Australian dollar, from when it really got strong back here, it went up 100 and well, it went up about 75 pips. Yeah, maybe about 80 pips. So it went up considerably more, and it was more of a steep slope because all the time frame trends, lined up on that one. So a relatively choppy day. Later into the day, the pound became very weak, and it's weak on all time frames. At that same time, the dollar, the weekly, monthly trend are up. The daily trend just slightly down, but it was up an hour before, and it's the intermediate time frame trend switching back and forth. You can see the peaks of the strength are higher than the peaks of the weakness, which is a good thing. So at 10:30, when the pound got really weak, you could sell the pound dollar. Because most of the time frame trends line up. Let's zoom in on this chart by hitting the plus key. Here's 12:30, and it found support at the hourly, found support at the hourly. In both times it bounced, but you can clearly see on the chart the market's making lower lows here. And when it broke down underneath the hourly, you want to go short. And you can see that it's been mostly extreme weakness on the way down, and our Intella stop still has you in this trade. You would have been short around 75. You're up a little over 50 pips right now, and we're still in the trade. We have real-time incredible weakness. We're at the previous day's low. There should be some support here, but if this area gets broken, it's likely to make one more wave down. So what you would do is draw your fibs on this last wave, and the profit target's probably 58.90 or so. So it has another 25-30 pips to go if it can break this previous day's low right here.